What if I told you that making £10,000 a month from your own online course isn't just possible, it's simpler than you think? After 4 years of selling my own Amazon FBA course, I've learned exactly what steps to take to get there faster, and I'm ready to share with you them today. These aren't complicated hacks, they're just straightforward actions that work. If I could go back to the beginning and do it all over again, these are the exact things that I would focus on from day one. And stick around until the end because I'm going to share with you one specific hack that can give your first few videos a big boost, potentially getting clients in just a few weeks. When I launched my first Amazon FBA course, I didn't call myself Ben Alistair. At the time, I was FBA Mentor, and I thought I was going to be clever because FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon, and the word mentor, well, it indicated to people that I knew what I was talking about. The idea was that people searching for FBA, let's say on Google, would find me, and it worked to a point. A few people did come from Google, but they didn't know me or have any real connection with me. They just saw FBA Mentor and thought maybe he knows something about Amazon. In the beginning, that idea worked for a while. I stuck to creating 3 long-form videos and 7 shorts about Amazon FBA every week for nearly 2 years. But eventually, I got bored. It felt like sometimes I was saying the same things over and over again. Tutorials, supplier tips, product research. You get the picture. And that's when I realized all of a sudden that I built a trap for myself. The FBA Mentor name was kind of boxing me in. I couldn't talk about anything else. It was kind of like I was putting myself in a cage and trying to break out took months. Here's what I've learned. Your personal brand and your product should be 2 very different things. And if you keep them as separate identities, you will give yourself some room to grow. I mean, think about it. Big names like Mr. Beast, they don't limit themselves to just one thing. Mr. Beast is a brand, and his chocolate bars are a brand, and his burger chain is a brand. They work together, but they also stand alone. And having those sort of separate identities lets you pivot and add new things without losing your audience. Alright, so now that we got the very first step out of the way, let's talk about the next crucial step. And that is defining who you're going to help and what should your content be about. When I changed my brand, I struggled to narrow down my focus. I knew I had a lot of experience to offer. I'm talking courses, affiliate marketing, mentorships, brand deals. But if I talked about everything, I would just end up reaching no one. After going back and forth for weeks, I realized that I need a clear direction, a focus that would help me create valuable content and attract the right audience. Here's a trick that helped me find my direction, and I think it can help you too. See, what really helped me is writing down this sentence and filling in the blanks. And that was, I help blank go from blank to blank so that they can blank. This sentence forced me to define exactly who I'm trying to target, who I'm trying to help, and what kind of transformation I will guide them through. Not only does this help clarify my brand, but it gives me a roadmap for my own content. And if you know what that is, just have a look at my YouTube description. Next, let's talk about a massive mistake that costs a lot of creators a lot of sales. See, many people think that social media is where all of the sales happen. But here's the reality. Nobody is going to buy a £1,000 course after watching a 30-second TikTok. The purpose of these platforms I've found, like TikTok and Instagram, is to make people aware of us, but not to make the sale. Short-form videos gets people interested, but they don't create deep connections. What should those short-form videos do instead? Well, what they should do is lead people to a place where you can actually build a relationship, like a YouTube channel, a website, or an email list. So if I could go back to the very beginning, here's what I would do. I would use Instagram and TikTok to lead people to one place only, and that is my lead magnet. And on YouTube, I would link my lead magnet and I would link my website too. And I'll be honest, if your audience is really interested in you, they will look you up on Instagram themselves. People these days on social media are way smarter than you think. So you really want to make sure to lead people down the funnel, not away from it. Alright, so now that we know who our audience is and where we're going to lead them, then the question becomes, well, what are we actually going to talk about? When I was just talking about Amazon FBA, I got stuck in a loop saying the same things over and over again. And that's where I messed up. To keep things interesting, I would now need a plan, and that's where the 4 content bucket strategy really comes in. Let me break it down and tell you exactly what I mean. Pick 4 main topics your audience cares about. Say, for example, you're a fitness coach. Well, in my opinion, then your buckets would be something like exercise, diet, mindset, and recovery. Then create 7 subtopics to each one. For example, for exercise, it would be client stories, then common mistakes, then misconceptions, then routines, tips, Q&As, and then maybe progress results. Now, if you times that by 4, you have 28 unique video ideas and just rotate them through. If you just post 1 video per week, that's over 6 months worth of content, all without repeating yourself. See how easy it is to stay fresh? Alright, so now with all of that being said, I want to share with you one of my biggest regrets. And I have 3 of them in my life. 1 is going to university because my parents pressured me into it. 2, buying a flat at the peak of the market. And the 3rd, well, focusing on views instead of building an email list. See, when I started, I was obsessed with views and followers. I thought if I get more views, then I'll make more money. It made sense at the time, but I went from 0 to almost 900,000 followers on TikTok, and I actually even pulled in 300 million views. But how much money did those views bring? 0. They found my content interesting for about 5 seconds and then just kept scrolling. So if I could go back to 2023, here's what I would do differently. I would start collecting emails from day 1. Emails, believe it or not, guys, have a 5 times better chance of converting followers into customers than social media. Think about it. When people open up their inbox, it's for important stuff like bank alerts, flight tickets, or that trip that they're planning. So while views and followers feel nice, an email list is where real connections and conversations happen. So then you might be wondering, how do I get people to give me their email? Well, it's simple. Like in most cases, just offer something that they will find valuable. And the reality is, in 2024, signing up to my weekly newsletter just isn't enough. Your audience doesn't really care about that. At least I don't. We need to give them something a little bit more specific and a lot more valuable. And this is why I did my own 30 tips to turn your views into profit, which you can find in the description. You really need to ask yourself, what's in it for them? And therefore, I would never settle for just a simple newsletter pitch. I would have to offer something genuinely valuable, something that helps them solve a problem or learn something new and useful. See, the reality is that when a viewer gives you their email, they're showing real interest. So in order for that to happen, I would have to build a lead magnet that they just couldn't resist. Once we have a valuable lead magnet, I would put it up everywhere, and I wouldn't settle for just a quick generic PDF. I would make sure it's good. For example, I spent over 7 hours crafting my 30-day email series. Each day the subscriber gets an email with real value. So that way I stay in their inboxes reminding that I'm here to help. And once all of that is done and it's ready to be published, I would plaster it everywhere. Instagram bio, yep, it goes there. TikTok bio, it's up there. See for yourself. YouTube channel description, obviously. Every single video description and comment section, yep, it would be there too. Think about it like this. You're giving your audience value for free. If they don't want it, they probably aren't interested in your paid content either. Here's what we've done so far today's video. We separated your personal brand from your product. We defined who you're helping. We've created a lead magnet and we filled your content buckets with ideas. What's the next step? Well, the next step is to start recording. And there is just only one more thing to mention. When I started, I made over 200 videos by grabbing my phone and just talking to the camera. But it would be really great if you were better prepared. If I were to start again, I would plan my title and thumbnail first. I would make sure that they are compelling by focusing on 3 emotions: curiosity, fear, or desire. So let's go back to the fitness example. Let's say a before and after photo with the title, "How I Lost 10 Kilos Without a Diet and Without Wasting Time." Think about it. It's got curiosity, desire, and the fear of wasting time. So make sure to resist the urge to record first and then think of the title later. The packaging of video is almost as important as the content itself. See, back in 2020 when I started, I was uploading 3 YouTube videos a week. I thought the more videos, the better. My goal at the time was essentially to flood YouTube with content so I'd look like a legit channel. But Now, thinking back, this is what I should have done instead. I should have taken my time to analyze each video's performance. So instead of rushing, I could have improved my content and pacing with each upload, paying a little bit more attention to what people responded to and what worked and what didn't. So here's the takeaway: try and focus on quality over quantity with long form content. Short form videos, though, you can experiment with them. Let's be honest, they're a lot quicker to make, so if you're posting 5 short videos a week on TikTok or Instagram, we can try and figure out what people engage with and adjust from there. It's kind of like a testing ground. Long form content, though, this is where relationships are built and sales are made. In my opinion, a YouTube view holds far more value than an Instagram view because it's just deeper, it has a lot more focused engagement. So I would always make long form videos a priority if I'm serious about creating a long-term business. If I am ever stuck and I can't think of what to talk about, here's a quick hack that works wonders, and that is just spying on your competition. For example, there is a free Chrome extension called vidIQ that lets you see your competitors' videos and how they're performing in real time. So you can kind of see what kind of topics are taken off, the trajectory of each video's views, and even how it compares to their past uploads. Does that guarantee your videos will perform exactly the same? No, of course not. But it shows you what people are actively watching and interested in. So it's kind of like having a map of what viewers want without any of the guesswork. So what I would do today is actually use vidIQ to study what's popular and let me inspire and have my own unique angle. I don't really want to copy their ideas exactly word for word, but I can take what's working and just put my own spin on it. Remember, in my opinion, finding success on YouTube is about finding the balance between what you love to talk about and what people want to see. Here's the big picture. I could have done everything I've shared so far: create great content, capture viewers' attention, and actually get loads of views. But none of it really matters if we don't have a solid system to turn those viewers into actual customers. You see, the magic of social media happens when there's a structure in place to guide your viewers through that journey. And in my opinion, you kind of need to think about it as a path from turning a casual viewer into a committed buyer. So make sure to click on this next video where I'll actually take you through the exact system that I use to capture viewers and turn them into my first paying clients. So if you're serious about reaching that first 10K milestone, this is where it all begins.